Hi folks, this should be the second video on the US election coming up. This one will be based on Trump being the bully, because he is, and how to beat a bully. It's nearly 1:30 a.m. on now the 22nd of the 5th, 2020. Both videos will be put down tomorrow. Previous one and this one. So yeah. Okay, I mean, we all know Trump's a bully. As soon as someone says something that Trump doesn't like, he slams them, he gets his followers to slam them, to attack them. And yeah, I mean, you remember that situation where at one of his rallies, he was telling people that if anyone protested too loudly, then they deserved to be punched. And then a protester at one of his rallies got punched, assaulted by someone. And Trump did not say that that person who assaulted that person was out of order. That person committed assault, punched somebody in the face. That's assault. It's a criminal charge, and Trump supports criminals. So I'm going to say I support him. And that's the thing. I mean, folks, come on. If you're a Christian and you support Trump, then you have to look at the fact that you are not a Christian. I mean, either you are struggling so badly that you cannot see the difference between black and white, or you were never a Christian in the first place. You can't pretend. As I said in the last video, you can't say that you love people and you love God, but you love Trump. It just doesn't work. You can't love this Neanderthal, which is what he is. He is a bully. He's a Neanderthal. He's someone, put it this way, he's a coward. He's never been someone who would actually stand up for himself. Yeah, his daddy's always had money. He's always been able to buy people that would stand up for him, and he used lawyers. I mean, we know in the last election, people were looking at him a little bit. And we know from then it was a case where he had previously in his businesses hired people to do work and then refused to pay them. And when they tried to challenge him, he got his lawyers to bury them under so much paperwork that they had no choice but to back off because it was going to cost them so much money to win the case that it just wouldn't have been worth it. And that's Trump. That's who he is. He's a nasty little piece of work. He's not someone that can be trusted in any way, shape, or form. He's evil. He's a sick little twisted individual who is really not worth anything. I say that in the nicest way possible. I mean, yeah, he's cheated on his wives. He's anti-immigrant, but his wife is an immigrant. Come on. That's why I say in America, there's too many people that are uneducated, too many people that just don't know how to reason, don't know how to think. Too many religious right people who count themselves as Christians, but they have no wisdom. If they had wisdom, they could see past the BS that is Trump. They could see past all of that, but they haven't seen past of it because they have no wisdom, no understanding. They see this man who is charismatic, but it's charismatic in the nastiest ways possible. You know, before the election last time, he was taking a mickey out of this disabled person in one of his rallies. And again, the Christian right, who is supposed to be loving, kind, compassionate, merciful, all the rest, continued to vote for this man, even though he showed himself as being a sick, twisted individual. And so you have to say, how on earth did he get elected in the first place? Again, you look at Clinton. I mean, I would go so far as to say, and I've said this before, I'm pretty sure I've said this on video before, but I'm not absolutely certain. There is a situation, yeah, I did. I said it quite recently because I said it about Obama. When Obama was trying to be elected, they put people against him who had no chance of winning. And the same happened previously. So in every election, you see the eventual winner, but you could tell in before then who was going to win. Sorry, I just had to deal with the dogs barking outside at this time of night, which is not good. Yeah, about elections, the same happened in the UK. You had elections, and it was always obvious who was going to win. Look at the opposition. Look at who they're putting against. Last election in the UK, you had Boris Johnson, who is a twerp. You know, just say it in the nicest way. He's an absolute twerp. Yeah, posh idiot who says and does the most stupid things. He really does. He's like a polite version, a very, very polite version of Trump, but also far more educated. Yeah. Boris is someone who can have a conversation. Problem is, his mind just wanders into the do-la-do-la-day sort of rubbish. But he was pitted against Labour. Now, Labour should have been for the people. The Labour Party should have been for the voters in Brexit. They should have been prepared to honour that vote. They always said they would. Before the vote, they said they would honour it. After the vote in 2016, I think it was, they said that they would honour the result. And they've done every single thing they can to block it. But then they have a leader, Jeremy Corbyn, who is not apologetic, really, about his party being anti-Jewish in many, many ways. And he's promising to do all these fantastical things that really won't help, especially as he says that with regards to leaving the EU, that he would get a deal with the EU, but then basically most of his party would campaign against a deal they've just got, but they would offer it to the people, but they would campaign against it. It's like, how can you do that? What a stupid idea. You intentionally are throwing away the election. I mean, if it's not bad enough, you're sort of left wing and your party's going even more left wing with all these insane stupidities of, and they've been doing it for years where they go even more left wing, having women only elections in local seats, which is sexist against men. So being positively racist, positively sexist, not realising, so too stupid to understand that is both sexist and racist. How can you vote for a party that does that? And to me, I would always have been a Labour voter in the past, even after Tony Blair, who was an absolute nightmare as a leader. I mean, that man put UK into so much debt. I mean, he was an absolute joker. He really, really was. He was this image man, and that's all he was image. He had nothing else to him at all. Again, there was no way he could have lost the election at the time when he was going to be elected, which I think that was 97, I think. Or just around about that time anyway. But there'd already been 3 terms of Conservatives. The people were fed up to the back teeth of Conservatives. the person in charge of the Labour Party at that point was, the Conservative Party was viewed as weak and unpopular. There was no way that person was going to win the election. So what did New Labour do? They sold their soul to business so they could win the election. Absolutely insane. But it was clear, and it's been clear. You go back through American elections, European elections, British elections, etc., and you'll see how, look at the winners, look at the people that went up against them. You'll see a pattern. You'll see that the people going up against them were weak. They were either visually not someone who could be seen as could be the leader of your country, because even as a leader, you want someone who is presentable. So, for example, John Kerry went against Bush on Bush's second term, I do believe. And John Kerry, probably a fantastic politician, but his image was completely wrong. He was never going to get there. Now, if it is as simple as that, if it is a case where there is a controlling element within society, within the world, who mucks around and decides who's going to be the prime ministers or the presidents of the nations for different times, and who's basically just playing games with us, then it doesn't matter who you vote for, because whoever they decide is going to win. But let's assume for a second that we do actually have a say. If we do have a say, then it matters greatly that you go out and vote. And as I say, the way to beat Trump, if he's a bully, is quite simple. You have to make the bully look stupid, which is why I said in the previous video, use Trump to beat Trump. Simple as that. Like any bully in the playground. If you make that bully look stupid and you continue making that bully look stupid, he will back down eventually. He won't pick on you anymore because of the fact he's losing. Now, Trump is not a bully in the sense that he will beat up his opponent physically. He wants to try and intimidate his opponent he will get loud. And he thinks that by getting loud, he can silence his opposition. You know, he will look as if he's angry, or he will come up with fake news or fake story, one of these stupid one-liners. Again, use it. Use that. So you watch Fox News, yeah? Okay, talking about fake news. Look at the reports they've been doing that's fake. So if I was in charge of the other party, I would continually put out adverts against Fox, showing how Fox has claimed things that have been completely wrong. And then when it comes to the president saying fake news, bang, you got him. Not only does he watch Fox News, he's been led by Fox News. When they come up with a policy or an idea, he's then spouting that same idea at the podium a day or 2 days later. So fake news is what's been guiding him. So yeah, use it. Use that against him. So right, there you go. You want to play games, you want to keep mentioning fake news, is that your big buzzword? Okay, let's use that. Okay, little bully. Let's use your bullying tactics against you. Let's be clever. Let's say, right, you want to use that? Okay, that's cool. They were trying to say, Trump's team were trying to say, what is it? I can't remember exactly what they were saying. They were saying Biden is weak on a certain thing. And again, it was exactly something that Trump was incredibly weak on. So it's like, good, bang them. Let them say whatever they want to say. Come back. Come back at them with the truth about him. Use his own words to do that. You don't need to try and make him look a fool. The reason why you don't need to try and make him look a fool is because if you use his words, his actual words, he will look a fool. Like, for example, do adverts where you're talking about the fact that Trump was saying that people could inject themselves with bleach, or get it into their bodies some way because that would fight off the virus. And rays of light, etc., etc. That stupid thing he was saying. I think it's Sarah Cooper, the one who does videos on Twitter, mimicking him. Brilliant. She's very good. Watch her videos if you can. She's a very clever lady. Again, use that, but then use the reports where just afterwards they had a lot more reports from hospitals where people were phoning up saying that they had ingested bleach. He's dangerous. As a leader, Trump is dangerous. Get that out there. Get it out there that he's a weak leader. Get it out there that he's dangerous. Get it out there that he's reckless. Get it out there that he is the first president of all time to basically invite Russian spies into the White House, into the real important areas of the presidency. He's basically been playing footsie with Russia. He says he's been tough on China, but then no. He's done press conferences where he's praising China, the way China's dealt with this whole virus situation and how transparent they've been. But then next minute he says he's been tough on them and he blames them for the virus. Excuse me? This man is schizophrenic. One part of him saying one thing, one part of him saying something else. There's different personalities in there. Use that. When he tries to hit you, duck, weave, use his tactics against him. Let him punch himself out. So it's like, if you could have a boxing match of Tyson versus Tyson, it would not be easy for Tyson to win. Or which one? But the real Tyson would certainly have a job trying to beat himself, wouldn't he, really? Because he'd have to duck and weave those punches. Tyson didn't have a great chin. He was fortunate enough that he had one heck of a punch and that he would often land that punch very quickly. That's how he defeated most of the people he won against. He didn't take an awful lot of punches. He really didn't. I mean, Frank Bruno had a fight with him and got him with one punch. But again, Bruno was one of these people that he really didn't have an aggressive bone in his body particularly. He wasn't a bad boxer. He was a decent boxer at a time really when the heavyweight boxing world was weak. It had the greats of the 60s and 70s and the earliest of 80s, and then there was no one for such a long time. And so Bruno was able to come up and do quite well in that weight for a while until better boxers then come up, like you had Tyson, you had Holyfield and a few others. So sorry to digress again, but with Trump, realise Trump is a bully, and the way to beat a bully is you don't let him land a punch on you. use them against them. But understand who he is. He's going to try and shout you down. He's going to try and shout down anything you do because he's got the presidential office and he will use every bit of that. Because he does. He is a despicable human being. And the people serving him are just as despicable as he is. I mean, there's no honor. There's no values in those people at all. They're in the White House, and they will use the White House as a propaganda machine for this man, for their man, to make sure he wins again. I mean, that is, really not really heard of. Yeah, like in so many of his press conferences, he actually even showed a video, didn't he, of people praising him, praising how he had handled this situation. I mean, how ridiculous is that? How insane is that for a leader to do that? That is absolutely mad. But that's what you're dealing with, and you've got to understand who you're dealing with if you're going to beat him. So, Democrats, stop trying to be nice. You can be nice and you can win, or you can try and be too nice and you can focus on being nice instead of focus on who your opposition is and how to beat them. You've got to understand who they are. You've got to understand what their tactics are going to be and what they're going to use. And they're going to use whatever they can. Because that's what they do. They use whatever they can do. Oh, there you go. I don't really do that because I just took the dogs out for a walk, and while I'm walking, we drove to one park and then drove right the way back. I went to another park, kicking the football around for them for a little while. So that was good. Give them some exercise, and they will sleep well tonight as well. Give them a nice feed before bed. And yeah. Right, you take care. God bless, and I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.